Among the best-known monuments gracing our nation's capital is the magnificent yet simple Washington Monument. A tremendous structure, it is the largest freestanding masonry edifice in the world, standing 555 feet tall, shaped like an ancient Egyptian obelisk and ending in a pyramid. Each year, 700,000 visitors come to ride the elevator to the top and enjoy a marvelous view of Washington, D.C. If you look closely, you will notice something peculiar about the Washington Monument. 152 feet up, the stone changes color. There's an interesting story behind that. The monument was begun on the 4th of July, 1848, but was not completed until the day before Washington's birthday, February 21st, 1885. That's a long time, even for such a monument as this. But strange things were happening in our country at the time. A society known as the Know-Nothings had formed a political party that was very anti-immigrant and virulently anti-Catholic. Known for their acts of violence against Catholics, they were called Know-Nothings because they were a secret society, and whenever anyone asked what their organization was up to, the official response was always the same: "I know nothing." They boasted 1 million members, including the mayor of Washington, D.C., and even a former president of the United States, Millard Fillmore. Their foundation was sparked by the new waves of immigration in the 1840s and 50s, coming particularly from Catholic countries. They could not abide this. They believed that the only true Americans were white Protestants whose ancestors came from England. Now that excludes just about everybody in this church today, I believe. American history is replete with waves of anti-Catholicism and anti-immigration, and it is interesting to note that in the vast majority of these, the anti-immigration seems to have been inspired by anti-Catholicism. When it was decided to make a monument to the father of our country, George Washington, an appeal was made to all the states to donate blocks of stone. Marble, sandstone, and granite blocks arrived. The appeal was extended also to foreign countries, and so a block of stone was sent by Greece, a block by the Sultan of Turkey, and by many other nations. In 1853, Pope Pius IX sent a very significant block of stone as his contribution to this monument. The stone the Pope sent was no ordinary piece. It was a large block of priceless African marble taken from the ancient Temple of Peace next to the Palace of the Caesars. It was inscribed, "From Rome to America." On October 18th, 1853, the Pope's stone arrived and was greeted with great ceremony. But the Know-Nothings could not stand the thought that a Catholic stone would be incorporated into this national monument. A group of these hate-filled anti-Catholics broke in and stole the Pope's stone, smashed it to pieces, and threw it to the bottom of the Potomac River. People were horrified at this display of blatant prejudice and hatred, and all donations to the project ceased. The Know-Nothing Party took over the project and presided over its demise. For the next 22 years, there was no construction at all on the monument. It remained at the level of 152 feet. Finally, 22 years later, Congress got tired of it, took the matter into their own hands, and funded the rest of the project with government money, so that it was finally dedicated in 1885. The ironic thing about this whole sad chapter of American history is that George Washington himself was anything but anti-Catholic. He certainly wasn't a Catholic himself, but he often asked his Catholic friends, including the influential Carroll family, to have public masses said in the cathedrals of this land, and he was known to attend these masses. We hear of the stone rejected by the builders. Many stones have been rejected in very many ways. We are all stones in the spiritual temple of God's reign. Which of us does not at times feel rejected, cast out? Our country, but indeed all of humanity, including sometimes the church itself, has a long history of assuming the right to decide who belongs and who does not. But each of these stones, each of us, is an integral part of the whole. By narrowing our vision, by casting stones into the river, by casting stones at those different from ourselves, it is we who are the poorer. For the edifice of which we are a part remains pitifully incomplete. If we act like the know-nothings, we earn the right to that name and prove to all the world our ignorance. There are many rejected stones, and they are not all at the bottom of the river. Some are hanging on a cross. But whether you find yourself at the bottom of a river or at the top of a cross, take courage, for the stone which the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. By the Lord has this been done, and it is marvelous in our eyes.